has regathered time and time again. We spoke to some people in the crowd. I apologize for some of the swearing there, but you could see the intense anger by the people there, intense anger that their story is not being told and that they say they are not safe on the street day or night here. So from the younger crowd here, 90% I'd say African American, a real hostility towards the police, towards people with a camera as well, as they continue to regather and confront the police in downtown Charlotte. All right.
What you are. Come out here and support us. Support us. You see, this is my brother. I don't care what skin tone he is. This is my brother. We all brothers and sisters.
I agree with her.
If all lives matter to you, then you should be out here.
Hey, if all lives matter, Black Lives Matter too.
If all lives matter, then Black Lives Matter too. If you care about us, then you need to be out here with us supporting us. Because we care about y'all.
We hashtag all lives matter, you need to be here.
You need to be here. At the end of the day, we all care about each other. It's not about...
614025, we made a call for CMC main crime scene, and I gave it to 614055.
I know that a lot of people that came out to
yes, that's fine.
But oh, here we go. We got people running.
55, I copy.
Alright, they're coming this way. Let's back it off. Back it off.
She's in danger of overdosing. There's not an apartment over. Medics outside in case I call a complaint about or see if medics already transported.
Ritz-Carlton and the Omni Hotel as police and demonstrators, about 800 strong, battle it out. Despite the fact that there has been one serious casualty, another young man injured, these protesters continue to stay out here through a cloud of tear gas. We have seen minor incidents of looting, at least one store next to me, one vehicle smashed up, but mainly it's a battle right now between the protesters and the line of police. Megan, back to you.
Paintballs. Just the wall.
Whoa! Flashbang grenade. We're also seeing, that was a flashbang grenade, that loud explosion. That was a flashbang grenade. We're also seeing paintballs fired into the crowd as well. So we're seeing a whole array of force being used here, non-lethal force, beanbags, paintballs, tear gas, flashbang grenades, and paintballs. It chases the protesters away as this cloud of tear gas moves over us right now, but in 15 to 20 minutes they come back.
I can't tell what it is from this vantage point. But some of the protesters left about an hour or so ago after that shooting that we confirmed that was just a few feet away from here. But there's still a couple hundred people in these restaurants. This is BLT Steak right at the Ritz-Carlton. They're looking out the windows with their cell phones. So it was another night in Uptown until this escalated to this point. And we have mass chaos. It was absolutely shocking to see earlier. My photographer and I were in the parking garage.
Chaos. We have tear gas being shot at protesters, officers right here in riot gear on the sidewalks. What are you guys praying about? What do you want done?
We're praying. We want everybody to be safe, for this to be a safe demonstration. We also want the police to be prayed for as well. So you may call it chaos, but let's just, everybody needs prayer. We're going to call this a simple, peaceful demonstration.
The fact that someone did just get shot within the last hour, I mean, what does that say about what's been going on tonight?
Well, it just shows a need of prayer, more need of prayer in the household, within the community relationships, and also relationship between God and His creation. Thank you, gentlemen.
Can I get your first last name?
First name Mark, last name Renaud. Renaud.
Can you spell that for me?
R-E-N-A-U-D.
Thank you, Mark.
And we're praying for you guys as well. God bless you.
Thank you.
Sir. This is Letter to you, Sergeant Command, requesting one more at 1419. Good?
Was that the request of Sergeant or an officer?
Thank you. Okay, they've expanded their grid. Do we know what we're doing for the 10 o'clock?
10-4 flag, that's you.
Straight lines.
Not 1018 traffic, time is 21 to 27.
Hey guys, let's.
Okay. Not 1018. Other C on the air, take the start to 114 on the ramp.
Done to 12-4. Other road, go to the ground, please.
Yeah, but I gotta make sure.
Right here on Sampler.
Easy, this 10 suspicious person's call is going to be 516 Museum Drive. Caller must check for a subject in the rear of the residence with a flashlight. Two subjects is called in by Katie. See the complaint at 514 Museum Drive.
I was saying, can you hold that one?
something's good, if something goes good.
Again, thanks for staying with us on Fox46Charlotte.com and on Facebook. David Sintendry here reporting in the middle of Uptown Charlotte. We've just been reporting on these protests for more than 24 hours right now. This is day 2 outside the epicenter. Everything started as peaceful earlier in the day. People gathered at Marshall Park, real close to the center of Uptown. And, you know, it was loud, it was vocal, a lot of energy, but for the most part, very peaceful. But again, protesters made their way through the streets down towards the epicenter. If you're watching and you're not from Charlotte, the epicenter is just the center of Uptown. There are a lot of clubs, bars, places to eat. It's where a lot of people go for, you know, a night out on the town, so to say. And protesters made their way through that area, out into the streets. And then, about an hour ago, we were out in the streets, we heard a loud pop. Wasn't sure what it was, but hundreds of people started to run. We now believe that that pop was a gunshot. Medic confirms that one person was shot out here at the scene. And ever since then, more and more CMPD officers have been gathering, trying to clear people out of the scene. They were on the sidewalks for the last little while, but as you can see now, they've made their way out into the streets, really blocked off this entire intersection. Tear gas has been flowing for a while. It's been a few minutes since we've seen any, but it just keeps coming in periodically. Some protesters kicking the tear gas right back at the officers while throwing other things. As you saw a few minutes ago, if you're watching other protesters doing things like praying, just trying to make sense of everything that's happening.
Could you help me around to do that intake? God, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Do we know who it is? All right, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And guys, if you could stay on me for just a quick second, I can confirm right now, we just got word from our newsroom that the person that was shot just down here over during the protest has died. We can confirm the person who was shot here has died. We do not know who this victim was. We don't know right now who the suspect was, but again, one person shot and killed outside here at the epicenter at what was supposed to be peaceful protests. What started off as peaceful protests that's been going on for more than a day, but you know, a lot of excitement started to grow. That turned into more and more anger. We heard that loud pop about an hour ago. That is what we believed was the gunshot. And ever since then, police officers have been in their riot gear just blocking off this area. They just keep getting a little bit closer to the epicenter, but protesters really are not leaving right now. Even as tear gas comes, they're kicking it right back. Last night, the issue that we had with tear gas, we were over towards University area of Charlotte, where all this began. And as officers were shooting off tear gas at protesters, it wasn't doing anything but just pushing the protesters to different parts of the town. It wasn't sending them home, it was just sending them to different areas of North Charlotte. And as you could see, if you were watching last night, what you saw is after they kept getting pushed away from their initial protest spot, they made their way out onto the highway, completely shut down one whole side of the highway, the northbound lanes of I-85, and there was a lot of destruction happening out there. Things were being lit on fire. Protesters were throwing rocks at cars that were passing by. Even people were getting hit with rocks. Water bottles, glass, you name it was getting thrown. Just a nasty scene with hundreds of very angry people. Today I was meeting with religious leaders throughout Charlotte, and they were telling me how, you know, this is not at all what they were hoping would come out of this. They were very, very disappointed in what was happening.
Please, trying to walk away. Do you have any crime being reported?
Right now, this is a calm part of the protest, if that makes any sense at all.
You have two officers.
A lot of people were running earlier, making a lot of noise, throwing things. Right now, it just seems sort of a standoff, waiting to see what unfolds next. We're about 9:30 Eastern time right now. In about 30 minutes, we will be hitting live on Fox 46 News at 10, and we'll, you know, keep it on this story throughout the show. So if you want to check us out, you can do that. If you're local, you can turn on the TV. If you're not in the region, you can watch us online. Now some chants are starting to grow. We hear "No justice, no peace" being chanted over and over. You can't really see it on this part of town, but there has been more destruction throughout Uptown. We've seen trash cans busting out windows. I saw people throwing bricks at windows earlier here in Uptown. Just a lot of angry people.
complainant is waiting at 7-Eleven at 37.
And again, not to say that certain people are not allowed to be angry at certain situations that have happened, but a lot of people were upset with how far that it has gone last night and how far it's going tonight. Obviously, of course, one person shot and killed. Some people starting to back off, start to run right now. Doesn't look like police is moving right now at the moment.
91104.
Good.
Can you check missing persons for 2 females? Let me know when you're ready for the names.
Good.
First name is Logan Lawson.
If we can, I'm gonna
Date of birth,
bring someone in, do a quick
12/12/98.
interview while everyth's somewhat calm right now. Ma'am, if you can, tell me your name.
Hi, Surprise Sneed.
Say that again.
Surprise Sneed.
9/10.
Why'd you come out here tonight, and what are you taking away from what happened? Is this what you were expecting? What's going on?
Well, it's not what I was expecting, but I came out here tonight because I have 2 fathers and 3 nephews, and that could have easily been one of them. The biggest thing is that we have to understand, you know, yes, we came down here to protest, but we can't tear up downtown. That's not going to solve anything. Make sure we're getting out there and voting, understanding what politicians we're putting in place, because right now we're dealing with a lot of silence when we should have our government officials speaking up for us. So that's why I'm out here.
So we just confirmed that the person who was shot out here has died. The fact that someone passed away in what was supposed to be a peaceful protest, how does that make you feel?
I was out here when the man got shot. It's terrible. You know, we've been tear gassed, but, you know, again, it's unacceptable. We just need to make sure we're conducting ourselves properly because we came out here to hear our voices heard, not to be silenced. So make sure that you're doing things correct way. But again, it's unjustifiable the way they killed that man. It was not necessary.
And I know we're still waiting for a lot of details to unfold in that investigation. You know, his family says that he was not armed yesterday. Police say that he was armed. But back to tonight, you saw the shooting happen here tonight. To walk me through what happened when you were out here on the scene when someone was shot.
The tear gas situation, from my understanding, again, I was in the crowd. He got hit with the tear gas first. But, you know, I'm not sure exactly what caused them to want to shoot the man. We're not sure why they shot the man here in Charlotte the other day, just sitting down reading a book. But, you know, we have to take all necessary course and action, and I cannot stress enough that rioting is not going to necessarily get everything done. We need to make sure we're reaching out to our politicians. We need to get out there and vote, and we need to be peaceful. But they are arresting us here now, and we are just standing in solitude together. So just make sure you do what you have to do to be safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. She was mentioning that people were getting arrested. I believe we saw a couple people getting arrested, but it really hasn't broken out into a large number of people. I haven't seen too many people getting taken away in handcuffs. Police have really just been standing their ground, trying to calm the situation, it seems, and trying to really just get people out of here and clear the scene. Again, all this starting yesterday when Keith Lamont Scott was shot and killed by a CMPD officer. As we were talking about in that last interview, his friends and family say he was unarmed at the time, that all he had in his hand was a book. Police, when they walked upon him, they were actually not coming for him. They were going to serve a warrant to a completely different person, but they felt that he posed an imminent threat, an imminent deadly threat, and the officer felt his life was in danger and proceeded to shoot him, and that man later died. CMPD says they did uncover a gun, though, at the scene. They were saying he was armed. Again, a lot of confliction between family versus CMPD, so we're waiting to hear how that investigation unfolds. But in the meantime, protests went all night last night. We were covering these protests all the way until the morning, until different crews came and took the protests over for us. And here again, about 6, 7 o'clock this evening, they've picked back up and they keep growing and growing. And unfortunately, as we just said, one person has been shot and killed during these protests. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we just heard a little bit of chaos. Some protesters starting to run away from these police officers. I can tell you what we just got word into our newsroom. The city of Charlotte just sent us a message saying that the shooting we were talking about, it was civilian on civilian. There was a lot of talks out here from protesters. They were saying that they saw a CMPD officer shoot one of the protesters, and that's kind of what sparked a lot more outrage and anger out here at the scene. But the city of Charlotte is saying that's not the case. They're saying it was civilian on civilian with that deadly shooting that occurred right just outside the epicenter here in uptown Charlotte that led to one person dying.
On red hats, colors retired CSP.
I'll let it.
West Trade, North Graham, 20. Killer.
You can clear me. MI.
Heavy tear gas, as well as perhaps rubber bullets being fired into the crowd to try and take control of this main street in downtown Charlotte by the police. Megan.
Suspects on scene. Would you be able to take it in?
This is a lot more out of control than in Ferguson. This is a pitched battle between police and protesters that's gone back and forth for a long period of time. It makes me think that the police here are less prepared and less competent even than what we've seen in Ferguson. I'm seeing scenes here that the last time I've seen them were on the West Bank, the back and forth between Israelis and Palestinians with tear gas. That's what we're seeing here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Sergeant also copy. Party on assist medic in the 18500 Park Road in front of the McDonald's at the 12 corner, serving some male laying on the sidewalk. It was called in by a third party.
You know, it's really hard to confirm any of that. There are explosions of all varieties. There's tear gas canisters being fired. There's also very loud concussion grenades and flashbang grenades, which make a huge flash and loud explosion designed to chase the crowd back, which certainly it has been effective. There have been paintball shots fired as well as rubber bullets. So there's a lot of ways here to get injured. And every half hour or so, the crowd will break into a run to get away from these things, so you can get trampled as well. It's an angry crowd. It's a hostile crowd. And they're not going away, despite the fact that one man has been killed, one man seriously injured. This crowd of a hardcore of a couple hundred is still out here, and the police really stymied so far in trying to get them off the street.
There's no further.
84.
Central Sergeant. 218 East Trade, Bank of America ATM. We have a black male, white complex dress, no shirt, light colored pants, hitting the ATM with a metal pole, trying to break in. An alarm from Bank of America.
What?
Assault reported, timed out, the 1205 Created Drive. Kilo Rasper reference one reported assault to your brother happened 30 minutes ago. Part of the attack happened at her house, another part happened at a park near the house. 3 or 4 people total assaulted her. The brother knows the subject.
That can clear back 1258 on the call. Yeah, I'm 4053, I'm clear. Step up. Temple.
If you can please switch over to Central System 2 to assist.
I need somebody to hold the camera on.
Report, sir. I appreciate it. I have an occupied 60. The Georgia plate. David George Robert 478. Engine's been running a little under an hour. Occupied 1 time. White male. East 8 in North Alexandria.
Hello.
Father. Green shirt, white pants, came on a bicycle.
It's definitely not possible, but it has to be really close.
Playing with that yelling at him, I'll call the fair with 911. Said he was banging on our door.
You ever looked at a grenade?
He had to get back,
It's the
please.
same top as a grenade.
Hornets team score was looted as well.
What?
Hornets.
Right.
Story coming was also looted.
man. We've circulated around West Trade and Graham. We don't see anybody out here suspicious.
Unfortunately, just got another BD at 210 East U8 at the CVS Pharmacy. Go ahead.
Conference, please.
He's in the white top. He's laying on the ground in front of the McDonald's.
They killed that man. Bet you they wrong. We're not going to say they wrong.
Two 1258 to the unit coming out 2519, unit 22. Thank you.
If you're just joining us, you are watching live aerials right now. Or not aerials, I should say. This is on the ground of the protests happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. And one man was actually shot and killed there tonight by another civilian. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest, and it has escalated tonight because a man was shot and killed by police yesterday in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, you're watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream.
Headquarters, Central Sergeant.
1026, I'm running by that assault.
10-4, picking on the numbers, the assist medic or priority assault.
Roger.
Headquarters, any units able to clear for priority 1. Have a man on the ground at West staging. Headquarters, the homicide down there. Inform, give you the priority if you don't mind, and start that way. It's going to be West Trade, northbound 77, man at the ground. Bus stop, Medic 17 in their station.
One of them hit him up there. We're right to that.
Security up there. I don't think they can.
3411, we're at train here.
Yeah, that's security right there.
151, that's 10-4, 52.
721.
Inform my apologies, I'll put you back on the occupied 60, please, and thank
I
you.
also saw someone stand up on top of that building.
10-4, copy.
Thank you. Headquarters, all units. I have an armed person at the Holiday Inn, 230 North College Street, male, unknown race, white head wrap, all white, collared eyes. They saw what appeared to be an automatic rifle in his hand, walking down the middle of the street towards town. 2147.
Headquarters, where's that?
I have an armed person by the Holiday Inn walking towards town. White head wrap, all white, with an automatic rifle in his hand, walking down the middle of the street.
What street, headquarters?
230 North College Street.
Again, if you guys are just joining us right now, authorities tried to calm the anger tonight. But this is the second night of violent protests that you're seeing here in Charlotte, North Carolina. One man suffered a life-threatening injury tonight. He was shot during the protest. They said that he did die. He was shot by another civilian there.
11151, can you start towards that arm first? There's a holiday in place.
Lots of tear gas being thrown out in the crowds. Usually when you see people running, that they're running away from the tear gas. It can, you know, make your eyes water. People were throwing up.
Headquarters, we have 50 subjects making entry back into CBS, currently looting the floor.
When officials didn't release the video, they haven't released the video yet, of the man who was shot and killed yesterday by police. So the anger built up. And this is why the protests are now happening. Neighborhood residents and family of that man that was killed yesterday said he was holding a book, not a weapon, and that he was just waiting for his son to get off the school bus. That's what his family members and witnesses say. Neighborhood residents, I should say. But police claim that they saw that he had a weapon. Six officers have suffered minor injuries so far. Again, you guys are watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream. I'm just getting all the information as it comes in, and I will read it to you as I get it. If you're watching right now, feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button on our Facebook page. That way you can see these live videos in your feed as they come in the very moment, and be aware of what's going on across the U.S. at all times.
Okay.
They were going to arrest anybody that stayed out here, but then they didn't. It's incompetent, man. Heads up, heads up, heads up.
More tear gas. It's really been attack, counterattack, despite the fact that police have said they're going to arrest anyone who remains out on the street. That has not been able to disperse this crowd. They're still out here about 300 strong, and the police have not been able to dislodge them. They've just fired more tear gas, resulting in another panicked run. But just less than a minute later, they're beginning to gather again, these protesters, right in the face of those riot police. It's a crowd of about 300, mainly young. We've seen this crowd really evolve as we see people hurl things into that line of police. They have their helmets and riot gear on. We've seen firecrackers thrown at them, bottles thrown at them, rocks thrown at them, and they've really just stood their ground. Throughout this protest right now, we know of one person shot and killed, a young African man. We saw him on the street with a wound to the back of his head, and now the city of Charlotte has reported that that was a civilian-on-civilian shooting. But that really means little to the protesters out here, many of whom, while running from the shot, proclaimed that they saw police shoot that young man, that another man was shot by police. So you really have two versions of reality here, the official version and the version of these protesters.
Headquarters. What's the name of the teen store at Time Warner that was being looted?
In zone.
Want to take a look at this looting, or no? No, they're gonna kill us.
Last time he was standing over there filming it, the guy got a bit.
They're trying to get us. Are you alive? You're up. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, we are still at the corner of Trade and College. I'm going to step to the side and let Eric show you. You just saw the live footage. Police are moving forward. We're going to kind of move back if we can. Protesters were just chanting. There's a scuffle right there between the police. Protesters are throwing stuff at police. And they're backing the crowd up. You see a gentleman there in a wheelchair. Some girl just fell. So now we're right in the middle of Trade Street. You can see the group right here trying to get the guy in the wheelchair out of the way. But he will not move.
How does that make sense to you? He's in a wheelchair, dude.
We're going to back up here just a little bit. This is very volatile down here right now. Exactly, Fred. You did see tear gas. And, someone just threw something, a beer bottle, and hit a sign that went down all over the police. The person that was taken into custody just a minute ago, we believe that they believe that he threw something at them when they were backing up. We are now in front of the Ritz-Carlton. They just threw another tear gas. They're backing the crowd up down Trade Street. If you're following me on Facebook and Facebook Live as well.
This is the most heavy push by the police to try.
The protesters are throwing the tear gas back at police. They're moving us down East Trade Street past the Ritz-Carlton. This is tear gas. We're going to get away from this tear gas. Eric, back up. Back up. We're going to back up and get above the tear gas.
10-4.
Yeah.
So if you listen to 60, it's going to be 2529 then Leaving Way. The plane that Jose would like to be seen is a white vehicle occupied one time. She's never seen in the area before, and you want someone to check it out, just sitting in front of the complex.
You did.
Yeah, it also says...
this is live video of the looting.
We can also...
This is the gift, snacks, and wine beer. You can see people broke the glass here.
Yeah, I can read it, and I'll see you next.
Yeah, we're going to continue. Eric, come on. To go down the street.
Go ahead. You can get a call out there by Explode on base 4. You can clear it out.
Okay, yeah.
Driving inbound base 4.
Okay.
10-4.
Okay.
10-4 is any metro unit that can clear.
They said to be somewhere safe. Excuse us. Okay.
211-56 will be around. 10-4.
33 domestic assault, 2, found now 11220
Okay, we're not up. She said get somewhere safe.
Figure on arrest Roswell roommate boyfriend, same as Jacob Williams. Male bit her finger. She thinks Gilda's bit her finger off. Says she's not bleeding badly and declined medic. White male, black t-shirt, stand in front of a silver Honda Civic. No further. Good.
We'll be around 13405 on Beach Road.
Guys, the protesters are blocking the roadway with the barricades.
First stage, can you go to conference?
Protesters are blocking police off with the barricades. Eric, can we go live? Yeah, we're up, Eric. We're up. Protesters are blocking police off with barricades. Yeah. Okay. They're about to do a quick live cut and we need some pictures. Come on. Okay. We're going to get right here at this barricade. Okay. Okay, we're ready. Yeah, just the picture. Just the picture. Keep your shot.
22, 1255.
1255, guys.
Medic 64. CMC Pineville. Alert, conscious, just intoxicated.
10-1, Sergeant, copy.
No.
Police just are telling people to leave the area immediately. They're going to be arrested.
222 South Caldwell, please. 5. Good. Reference, everything's going all night. If you got one more call,
Yeah,
go ahead and send one more so we'll have 4 officers going. Yeah, we're 1354, you can roll away as well.
Hey. You're still hot, Eric.
10-4, quarter out.
Able to go 50 at 210 South Irwin.
Just put it on the ground. I'll get it.
1025, that's 10-4. Do you have an ETA?
Negative, it's unknown right now.
You know, let me know.
1351, we'll take that for the next hand to come to the office.
You're hot.
1354, I'll take off. Get your service. 10-4, appreciate it, thanks. Any comment? 13 Kentucky, 251, and John Adams, West Mount 3 shots for the complaint. Well, 1250 on Baker Street.
With Unit 17 Sergeant, Priority 1, armed robbery entered from person 4921 East Independence at the Circle K. Clear says a male advised that he was just robbed, happened a few minutes ago. No injuries. Suspect is a black male wearing a green shirt, walking up towards the Chevy dealer.
West Mount 3. Is there a complainant on any of those? 321 weeks and that's a complainant. Yeah.
Come on, guys, come to police.
So if it's
I had to set it down.
To say what they want to say. Police, we've been given an order to disperse. We're going to obey that order to avoid arrest, and we're going to see what happens to the people who refuse that order. We've heard that order several times, and it has failed several times. The police have pushed forward with tear gas. Over the course of 90 minutes, they've been able to move just about 100 yards, so they have not had great success against the protesters so far, who, despite the fact that one man has been killed, one man injured, keep re-getting 6 or 10 hardcore. The crowd has gone anywhere from a dozen to about 800 at its peak, and now just the hardcore remain, as the police right now are unopposed, but that could change when the crowd regathers, as we've seen time and time again, Sean.
Yeah, the unit nearby is 10-8. Could you start this way? 10-18.
10-4, India, that constructed way 224 Raven Ridge Court.
$12.52, give us a minute.
No. 1250. East 2015. 50 on 1354.
You're right. They haven't released that video yet because of the investigation. And you're right also to point out that these two versions of what happened could not be any more different. On the one, it's the portrayal of a loving father reading in his car, waiting for his son at the bus stop. On the other, it's a multiple convicted felon with a gun, threatening police, an imminent threat to their lives. So really, two extreme versions. And we're seeing the different versions play out here again tonight. On the one hand, protesters saying the police shot another young black man here. On the other hand, the city's saying it was civilian on civilian doing the shooting. So two different versions, but I can tell you it's clear from being in this crowd that the protesters do not believe the official version. They do not believe what the city of Charlotte is saying. They do not believe what the mainstream media is saying. They believe that the police shot another man. We're going to see how that plays out in the days ahead, Sean.
Go ahead. You take this ADW with injury report. It's going to be at ER at 200 Hawthorne, Preston, Maine. Caller advised that a victim with a stab wound just showed up. Victim is 1056. Believes it occurred in Bradford. Victim says he knows the subject. Unknown when it occurred.
27-12-11. Did you by chance get that guy's name? Because we had that cellular call come out at 3200 Point City last night.
Engineers, 60-13-51. 13-51, go ahead.
Just put on this is perfect. I'll be there out here at the same time.
Temper, thank you.
We did a report for him last night.
Temple.
$16, $12.55, $12.53, less than a minute now.
The police in riot gear have moved the crowd back gradually throughout the evening from right in front of the Omni Hotel right all the way down. We are now in front of the Charlotte Transportation Center and the big arena, the Hornets, where the Hornets play, and it has been peaceful at times. It's been volatile at times. There's been tear gas. I got tear gas tonight. Obviously,
317 Dormitory Drive.
Police just made the announcement
to a fire alarm.
Not dispersed. They will be arrested. So the crowd is.
Of course, I believe Davidson College has been dispatched to it. Just confirmed with North American 22 RG.
The crowd is very interesting. There seem to be two factions here. One group who are really facing the protesters, kind of like we saw in Baltimore, facing the protesters, between the police and the protesters, and then and some people praying and calling for love, and then you have the instigators who are throwing objects at police, throwing sticks and wood and breaking into stores. We have video on my live Facebook feed of a store that was just basically demolished. We have, if you go to Mary Sturgill on Facebook, I have a ton of live video from tonight's events that are posted on there. People can see that as it was happening at the time. And so yeah, JR, it's just really kind of volatile down here. It's right now we're in a lull, but it could go up at any moment.
Negative 22.
You know, as a news person, as a journalist, as an observer, it's very interesting because you know that in this country we have a right to protest, a peaceful protest. You know some of the reasons people are out here. But I talked to one.
Can you advise? Point to the house. Possible to be able to make sure it's secure.
He said the overall picture they completely agree with, but some of the tactics they do not. And so it's very interesting to watch this in action, JR, as a journalist and as an observer who's trying to give you the real-time information. Yeah, there's
officers available. I need 2 officers to respond
And then when
to
someone makes an
North
aggressive move, they take that person into custody. And that's what's been happening all night long. The police rush forward, take the aggressor into custody,
the subject
put him behind
that
the
may go
police line,
72. He's going to need
push the
assistance.
crowd back. And that's kind of the pattern that we've seen all night.
10-4.
Okay, I will, JR. Thank you so much.
Headquarters, any unit, 2 units, excuse me, they can start towards North Poplar and 25 with Officer Wall, reference of 72.
Bye. Should we do a look live for them?
Well, 1160, do they want training?
They're going to have to get CMC to feed it to them. Because
They
right
need
now
2
we're on
units, he's
CMC's
about to
thing.
need
My
2.
best bugging me to do something for her.
If they have a 2-man car available, that's fine.
10-4, 1160, you 2-man or training?
We're training you for
10-4, let me find these numbers, I'll add you to them.
12 and 24.
12, 10, 24, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, he is training, so he's only going to be classified as a 1-person unit. So if you got a 50 unit that you can send, please send him instead.
10-4. 12, 13, 51.
1351.
10-4. Let me find these North Poplar numbers of your 2-man.
That's 10-4.
Again, you guys are watching live from the ground right now of protests and riots after a man was shot and killed yesterday in Charlotte, North Carolina. Police say they saw the man have a weapon on him and they felt that he posed a, quote, imminent threat. Protests were happening last night and they started again tonight. Even more violent protests. I guess we should call them riots at this point. Looting of businesses, tear gas has been thrown by police to calm the crowds, to get them to clear out. They said that anybody that stays in this area right now will be arrested. Again, you're watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream. Riots in Charlotte, North Carolina, after a man was shot and killed by police yesterday.
What's your location? I think that you need to switch over to CEU 1, please. I believe they handled that.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome. Headquarters, Central Sergeant.
1027.
We have a Swiss fire at Hyatt House. Fire says subjects are starting fires in trash cans.
All right, if you want to do it, look, let's do it up here with the cops are nearby, so at least we got something.
10-4, I'm trying to make sure before I have you to switch over. You have some interference. Try that again.
12, 13, 51, will you put us on whatever numbers we're going to?
10-4, ma'am. Someone else was keying up after you. I copied you. I'm trying to make sure that I have the right numbers before I add you. Stand by for me.
We are here on the. I'm doing a look live for my station. Yeah, I'm doing a look live for my station, guys. Okay. We are here at the corner, or I'm trying to do a look live for my station. Time Warner Arena.
1250.
No, this is trade. Yeah, this is trade. This is trade. This is trade.
Senior is 60 in the 16821 Saddle Point Road. Color dark brown vehicle.
We are here on Trade Street, right in front of the Time Warner Cable Arena where the Hornets play, where the crowd has been pushed back about a block from the Omni Hotel, where we're believing a shooting took place tonight. Eric's going to pan over and show you. We have police right here in riot gear surrounded by some protesters. They're having a conversation right now, and that's kind of how it's gone tonight. Protesters come up to the police have a conversation with them. Actually, the police don't say anything.
All right, guys, we want to explain one more time. We're on the move right now. We're about to come up to the CAT station in Uptown Charlotte right now. We had a bunch of protesters telling us that there was some activity going on down here, people flipping over dumpsters and engaging with police. So instead of just standing in front of those riot police over there as they were moving their line, we want to go see what kind of activity is going on up here to the left is how it was described to us. And this is also the same street where we saw those protesters being pushed down, Trade Street, I believe. So we're going to go see what we can find.
74123.
Yes, sir.
10-4, ma'am. Do we have a available PTV van to 25 the LAC for 2 arrestees?
Headquarters, prison transport down here.
The police and walk in front of them. What do you think?
Yeah, they may be here. Yeah.
Your crew and
Whatever, sir, and see if they're actually out at intake.
It looks like it's pretty much dispersed, no? Have a backup battery for that too.
coming maybe like direction of Russell and Jennings area.
Let's go forward, CP.
Right here, like Oklahoma Mulberry, and heard it coming from in the neighborhood. Sounded pretty far away, like maybe Russell and Jennings.
I can certainly call them.
We're on the news. That's the news. What news y'all with?
Check on the possibility of annual at the LEC between them. I don't know if they'll do it or not.
10-4.
Medical representative 911, I got 12,019 Beerhoff Drive, 12019 Beerhoff Drive.
All right. Hey, Chris, let's walk up.
Headquarters, I catch you. You didn't get out. That's 10-4. Headquarters, all units. We have 3 armed subjects.
Again, you guys are watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream. We do apologize for any profanity that you guys might hear during this. Anything could happen. Viewer discretion is advised. These are riots happening right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, after a man was shot and killed by police yesterday.
I'll get you now. Step out, all right? Is that all right with you?
I'm sorry, tight on them, man.
All right.
But they're like taking me for that.
I don't see no property damage. I don't see nobody tearing up nothing. I see sticks and shields. What they doing? That's what I see. That's all I can see on the news right now, though.
That's right. As the police begin to move forward and pound their batons against those riot shields again, with their plexiglass helmets. They're marching forward slowly and steadily to try and take control of the street. We've seen really a pitched battle for the last 2 hours between demonstrators and police. And now with this march and with several volleys of tear gas, the police have largely scattered the protesters. If we look about 300 or 400 yards down the road, though, there's still about 200, 300 protesters there. So the test is going to be when these two sides meet again. Over and over again, we've seen the protesters rally, hurl bottles at police, and then retreat under the threat of tear gas. So the police are marching forward, trying to take control of downtown Charlotte, and we're going to see in just a few minutes whether the protesters let that happen or not, Sean.
In the background.
No, it hasn't happened, and really the focus here now is on more immediate things like who shot the young man here who's on life support clinging to life. Was it a police officer, as many of the protesters say, or was it civilian-on-civilian shooting, as the city of Charlotte says? So really, a whole nother case has got their attention. And really, it's not about reasoned debate right here on the street. It's about emotion. You have people who are really in a fury and who are throwing things at the police officers of their city. We have at least 6 police officers wounded again tonight. So it's an angry fight right now. Right now, it's quiet, but we could see a standoff over the next hour as these two sides get closer together again.
Quit dramatizing the news, man. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Not like that.
Any units being cleared for disturbance, I'm out for the 3 for Wilkinson Boulevard.
1026, go ahead, we're talking to you.
Temperature 4526 Wilkinson Boulevard, room number 81. For the Coastal City Motel, caller advised.
Sure, I'll ask Chris Pontius to turn around and show you some of those protesters. You can see a lot of them have their shirts off or other things wrapped around their noses or mouths to try and protect them from the tear gas, and it looks very small. This is a very fluid situation where the numbers come and go. As it's gotten later, the crowd has gotten smaller. I'd say right about now, about 80 protesters. At its height, we saw about 800.
4124.
4123, go ahead.
PTV is not servicing patrol, only CEU, and
Thank
we're
you.
still working with Mecklenburg County Sheriff to figure anything out.
No, it's possible, but you just got to be aware that there could be swearing. There's a guy right in front of us right now.
And I can,
Because all lives matter, especially the human race. And these are human? No, these are robots. Think about it.
Please call me at 621-6818, 621-6818.
You could ask me as many questions as you want to. But as long as you don't manipulate it, that's all I ask, is that you respect me as a human being and not manipulate my words.
It's a live report, so I'm not going to be able to...
1253, to Baker 1 Sergeant.
No, it's whatever you say is going to
I'm out here.
Yeah, we're good.
Hey, sir, out here on Heflin, there's no D&E, just a disturbance.
Thank you.
Let me ask you guys are one of the news people?
Down.
All right, he's going to come to us next.
Hey, can I ask you your first name?
My name is John.
All right.
hit you. Really? I was wondering when that was going to come.
What did he say?
The next following thing is tear gas.
Okay.
The next following thing is tear gas. And that means all media will get tear gassed also. Just to let you know.
Hey, John.
Tear gas will be next. Because Charlotte Mecklenburg has now told you guys that tear gas will be
Chris, they want a guess, Chris.
9262.
They want this guess for the next hit.
Look.
Can you grab me some check numbers for a lift 145 right Town Center Drive?
No. Let's not first peacefully, but there's nothing been peaceful since yesterday.
I'm going to have the mic, so talking to this work.
Just as long as you do it before they start walking towards me, so I don't get you.
Yes.
Hey! Stay by me because they're getting ready to push all of this back. They're getting ready to shoot you. I promise. There's too many people over there. Stay by me. Stay right here, baby.
You got it. All right, I got it. I know.
Now they're pushing this back. Right. Gotta do something because they're going to start walking this way. I've been in the military, dude. I've been on special ops, so please understand. I understand how they move. I understand that the tactic to bring in the trash can was to split us through, to put us down this way. So therefore, we couldn't push this way. Trust and believe. And I also know that every last one of these police officers, I've looked in their face, and I can look at them eye to eye and can tell when a man's not truthful. I can also look at them face to face and can tell you when they actually feel something different than what they're being told.
Just hold them there, don't let them get.
I got it.
Yes, ma'am.
I got it. The other, just
50.
You can call me Matt Curtis.
Can you be on to this outside? It's going to be 1200 10th Street. I'll advise you heard 7 to 8 gunshots. There's no complaint to see. I also have another one at Pegram at 19, so if it's 8 rounds fired, that's the plan. Suspects. We have several more as well. 1616 Homestead, DT's at Allen Street. Templar, is that a disturbance?
That'll work.
Templar.
Report back.
What's 1026? Past 88, all east is in North Caldwell. Subjects blocking the roadway. Visible is sufficient. There's nothing else.
Yeah, that would be coordinating with the CE units, sure.
They are seeing the calls in queue, and upon priorities, we're calling down there with them.
Alright, as long as they're putting that out over their channel, it's fine.
That's Templar.
SD to headquarters. Did we ever get a handle on the subject that was down in the epicenter parking deck?
All right, you guys, I'm going to read you a little bit of the latest information, the latest on the police shooting and protests in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. Charlotte officials say a man shot during a protest has died, but was not wounded by a police officer. He was shot by another civilian there on the streets. That's what I'm reading right now. Oh, let me turn this up. Looks like we're getting an interview.
What's that?
I don't think we're going to be able to do it if they can't understand what you're saying.
Headquarters has a fire north Caldwell on East Trade, reference to subject setting fires.
If they want to interview, we got to do it. We can't hold the guy for 10 minutes.
We were told we needed. Is there another system?
1 minute here.
What?
1 minute, 1 minute. He's going to change back.
Negative, ma'am. I'll have you dispatch when she gets back, but as right now, please play with what I was told. 10-4, thank you. The location at all, and the business has been closed. She was under the impression that she could make a report over the phone. I advised her that's not the case, to call back when someone's in the store, so you can go ahead and clear that area.
That's right. John, you can see the police about 50 yards in front of us with riot shields. They're saying anyone who is still here is going to get arrested. I want to know why you're still here.
We're still here because of the fact is that police do not understand yet to this day that people, they have to stand up for what they believe in. You guys are out here, media, press, and everyone else is out here because you believe in a story. We believe in the fact that this is unjust. We believe in the fact that this is wrong. We also believe that they're about to run up on us and do some danger. So therefore, I will tell you this, I have done no wrong, I will not do no wrong, and the only thing I will stand for is justice among our people. That means black, brown, white, or whatever it is. Charlotte, North Carolina has been built on minorities and everyone else. Please understand that.
Let me ask you what happened. Let me ask you one thing that happened up there. One young man shot very close to death up there. Do you know what happened? Do you know who's responsible for it?
Mecklenburg County is the reason why, because no one else has guns, dude. I mean, none of us have guns. The largest weapon we have is a camera phone. And that's the largest weapon that we have, is a camera phone and knowledge of self. And that, my friend, is the biggest weapon you could possibly ever have. 704, Charlotte, North Carolina, and surrounding has been built on minorities, whether it's banking, whether it's money or anything else. And if we were to take away the money and start putting it within our own companies, within our own groups, there would be a problem, and that whole number 2, number 3 would drop to 10.
Let me ask you, when the police do fire tear gas, what actions are you going to take? We've seen people throw bottles at police, throw rocks back. What's going to happen when tear gas is fired?
The bad part is they've thrown tear gas. You know what else they've thrown? They've thrown bullets. They've also thrown hatred. They've also thrown racism. They've thrown multiple.
Go ahead, Sean.
They're setting fires on the trash outside of Hyatt House.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. And now they're coming in behind us. Sorry about that. I'm done. Babe! Where's she
54.
Go ahead.
22 that, man.
Now, the original spark that set this all off, the shooting of the man, do you know why that happened, why the police shot the man? What is your version of events?
From what I understand, they thought and they felt a threat being by this young man. And I say young man because he was only 43, 45 years young. He was a young man. He had family. He had kids.
Did he have a gun or did he have a book? Which version is true?
Understanding, he had both. It seems like, because the way that you guys cross it up, he has a gun and now we're dealing with the problem. This is what happens when you bully.
574120.
All right. Bullying, kid.
We have fires being set outside the Hyatt House, as well as B&E. The general manager would like to be seen.
Did you have traffic?
2-4, I thought you said to send you the Hyatt House 435 for fire. Negative.
There's not a lot of patience here right now, Sean. That man has moved back into the crowd. As this police line has moved forward, threatening arrest and threatening more tear gas, a lot of people have run backwards. So the police now have moved forward about 600 yards over the course of an hour as they slowly try to regain control here. Whoa. So what we're seeing now are what looks like paintball shots being fired, exploding on the ground to try and drive some protesters back, and bottles being hurled at the police. So a real back and forth here. The police in this line have shown tremendous patience. They've been pelted with bottles, they've had fireworks shot at them, and they're just basically holding their ground. That was a flashbang explosion. We've seen some. That was a flashbang explosion and some fireworks to try and drive people back. I think they're sort of getting used to all of this, and it's having less and less effect as time goes on.
They're the ones that are monitoring pretty much all the traffic.
Your question, though, about the makeup of this crowd is interesting because it's kind of sad how this thing has evolved over the last couple hours, because early on, when it was still light out, you saw a lot of parents with children. I don't know what that was, but it came from the direction of the protesters. Now, those are designed to intimidate and designed to frighten, and they're very effective. They're flashbang grenades, and they make people scream and run backwards, and that's what's happened. And that's more tear gas as well. There's a slight breeze out, which has made the tear gas a little less effective than it ordinarily would be.
Airport, thank you. Yes, ma'am. I'll park near that address. There's no further at this time.
Paintball, right?
Just wait a second.
Now they don't use
There's no fire there now for calling you. One shot so far.
3,000 PSI.
Officers not saying about yourself on fire.
10-4.
Shots fired call for the 2 for 717 Ryan Road. Then we have Victory Chevrolet. She's a security officer. Don't worry, the Timmons reference is trying to secure the dealership. The five shots were started around 2200 and ended about 2230. Complaint will be standby with a black Toyota Scion. Any other unit cleared with this?
Port. Port. Heather.
N51. I don't know why we're still on the one for Carmel Road. You guys know somebody else we're stuck out here.
No.
That was the guy that was trying to
Copy to priority on Hispanic 7626 Gale Ave. Hispanic 17 reference of medical alarm. Glad there's no answer for the residents. 2701 212701.
219.
Yes, sorry, tell. Hey, well, you can go ahead.
Do you have units at the... Are you able to have one 25 at the Walmart? This is a security guard. He needs a ride home. That's 10-4. Walmart's going to close up and shut shop, and they're sending everybody home. It's just going to be, they're not going to have anybody personnel here. He's just stuck.
1026 copy for a priority accident for 85 northbound. It's going to be on the off ramp to exit 29 at Sam Wilson. Medica 17 provides possible entrapment. That's the 4. And you cleared it back 1211 for the shots fired.
Ah, not this guy.
1211, I'll start you out and taking it back.
Hey, 1351, we're clear as MI. Just put us on those numbers.
Samuel.
Headquarters has a noise complaint coming from 1000 Baxter. New complainant, 2241.
Again, if you guys are just joining us, you're looking at the live riots happening downtown Charlotte, North Carolina right now. After a man was shot and killed yesterday in a police-involved shooting. Police say anyone that stays in the area will be arrested. They're trying to clear the area out right now. They're throwing tear gas. Police are throwing things. Protesters are throwing things on each side. This is not a peaceful protest. This has been going on for about 3-4 hours now in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, you're watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at here right now. It looks like police are just inside right now, maybe just trying to get their bearings and drink some water. We've seen fireworks go off. We've seen tear gas being thrown. We keep hearing loud, explosive noises. I'm watching all the feeds right now for you guys, so I'm switching back and forth a lot, trying to give you guys the best video so you guys can see what is going on. So if I keep switching around, that's why I'm trying to show you guys the most active video right now in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you for watching the Fox News Now stream. While you're on this, why don't you, if you want, hit the like button on our Facebook page or the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That way you can see live video like this in your feed every day and be in the know 24/7.
61350.
61350.
Now please take this domestic. It's going to be turned at 2706 Eastwood Drive, apartment 87C. Jamie Irvin's house, Father Durrell Austin. Hit her stepmother. Subject left the scene on a two-wheel bike. He left nowhere. Light color pants, brown boots, green tank top, white shirt underneath. Had tattoos on the bottom. And then extra travel. I believe he's still in the area. 1260. Could you please not do that?
42. They sent us all home to.
No, here you go. 9 minutes, 4th Street. 3 subjects are there. They were possibly taken from the truck.
I can't hear you, all right? So when you mumble and
Take a hip. Go break it.
funny, we have to stick together.
71250 and 71251.
I'll put my mile against yours any day of the week.
Your what?
Any amount of money. I'll run a mile against you for any amount of money.
1089 call at temporary and Foxford Place. Check for subjects riding motorcycles. Up and down. There's no complaining. Headquarters 8 Central Unit 7. I'm now 88 call South Mount West 4th. Go ahead.
11026 with 23 is down at 4.
Sorry about that, everybody. Again, if you guys are just watching, this started as a peaceful
Do you want
protest.
the description, sir?
earlier this evening in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it quickly turned to riots.
There's no complaint for the record.
Tear gas being thrown, local businesses being loitered, windows being broken into. We did see one protester trying to smash the window on a car. Police say anyone that stays in this area will be arrested. I am watching these feeds for you guys to bring you guys the best videos, so I will be switching back and forth a lot to give you guys the views that you need to see right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, after a man was shot and killed yesterday by police.
New England Arms, 20 gauge, 88, 848, 3988, 848.
10-4.
10-6.
I didn't like
For my supervisor, you want to go ahead and give a call to Ops Command, reference that. I have a phone number ready yet.
I've got it.
Come on.
What do you want?
Quarters 1350.
Good.
10-4, that weapon showing stolen.
Headquarters in the unit say we'll get a robbery from person at Holiday Inn, 230 North College.
Again, viewer discretion is advised. We apologize for any profanity that you might hear during these live streaming protests. We are just trying to bring you the latest information and live video footage. As the police try to calm down these riots, they say anyone that stays out there will be arrested. A man was shot and killed earlier during these protests by another civilian there. So we want to warn you guys, viewer discretion is advised.
Headquarters to 12-1350.
How is going to end? You got the peaceful protesters.
Headquarters to 2-1350.
Angry protesters. I'm 28.
Good.
There's younger people that's angry. They're angry.
10-4, sir. Can you give me the brains of that gun again?
When you grow up, how you grow up and then you deal with society. How can you not?
2527. Can I get you to generate me a set of damage to property numbers
Sean, there's
for
serious
150
mistrust
North
of
College
people
Street?
out here with microphones.
Bank
And
of
a lot
America
of
Center
angry
advised me over there to clear
and
my
you're
case, so I'm
28
switching
years
back
old.
to
You're telling me
CU.
it's the younger people who are even more angry.
Yes, I feel that there's a disconnect in. I feel like there's a disconnect in different races. I feel like there's a disconnect in how we raise people in general. But I feel like there's a disconnect in America. Period. You know, if you don't give a young person, whether they're white, black, Asian, Mexican, if you don't give them a reason to be happy to live in America.
Go ahead, Sean.
You know, they're going to be angry.
Go ahead, Sean.
Just has to see there on the police.
That's what they've been acting.
The other party security saying there's a domestic going on. Male was holding female by the throat. One black male about 5'8", last seen wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, holding a black female who's about 5'2".
This all started as
Another
a police
subject
shooting.
about 5 with a bat.
And what
Black
do you
male
know about the
19
details of the man who was shot? Was he holding a book or was he holding a gun?
How I feel about that situation is whether he was holding a book, whether he was holding a gun. I feel like if police are training officers to use different mechanisms to take down a criminal, let's use them. But this is not just about the case that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday. We're talking about cases that happen across the United States every single day.
So this is just a spark for something bigger. It doesn't matter to you whether he had a gun or a book.
Not in this situation. I'm not here for the bigger cause. If he had a gun, I understand. If he didn't, it just makes situations worse.
You're 28 years old, articulate young man. You're 100 yards from police. Already one person's been killed. They're firing tear gas over and over again. Why are you still out here?
I have a son. And I tell my son every day, I tell my daughter who's 6, she's in the 1st grade, respect the police. I respect the police. I was out there yesterday. People were calling out their names and all this and that. Like I told the police, captains, regular police officers, I don't think that you're a B. I don't think that you're an a-hole. I don't think that you're any of that. All I ask for is the same way you want us to hold our peers accountable, hold your peer accountable. Hold your colleague accountable for what goes on in society. You know what I'm saying?
28-year-old father, too. He says he's out here tonight because of those children. It's really a mixed crowd out here right now. A lot of young men and women with masks over their face or with shirts over their face as the police continue to try and maintain control as they have for the past 3 hours here in downtown Charlotte, Sean.
Where we do see a hit that's shown on a New England Firearms 20 gauge shotgun, and it has a model number if you can copy it. It says that it's a single shot 20 gauge. It doesn't advise on the wood. Six 1151, 61250.
Hold on, 2.
1161. Hey.
2312, don't leave it away.
Sorry. Hey.
Possibly the building across the street. You guys are on hold in 2312, don't leave it away. Reference 4 shots heard coming to the backside of 2312.
Hey, I got you.
Good video. We're going to do fireworks.
That's 1161, 1250, I'll copy. Anybody doing fireworks? This isn't clear off. You said they advised there were fireworks?
Several fireworks. Seven 1251 to 1250. Shamrock eastward. Almost this other agency says 221 for fire street. I put the other units on them as well.
Depends. You still got a lot of people pulling up from the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again, if you guys are just joining us, these riots might look a little bit more calm than they were about 30 minutes ago, where we saw tear gas being thrown, fireworks going off, and protesters vandalizing cars, local businesses. One protester was actually shot and killed tonight by another civilian. It has calmed down a little bit. But again, we're staying live on this, and viewer discretion is advised. Anything can happen. Again, you're watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream.
10-4. Purpose that call is going to be a 3412 Memphis Drive, a black man with a gun and a white shirt. Call advised the subject is going up and down the street shooting. Headquarters, any Metro unit that come back on this call?
26150, if you can clear us, MI will be sent to you.
10-4. Have you got any other calls about it? Negative. They just advised he shot one time in the street. Subject is on foot.
1261.
2111, suspects out.
Let's be Dakota Temple.
This all started yesterday when a man was shot and killed by police after they say they saw that he had a weapon when he got out of a vehicle. They said that he posed a, quote, imminent threat, and they shot fire. It has been reported that the officer that killed the man was also African American.
We have no description for either subject at the time.
Protests started last night, and they happened again tonight, but these are much more violent than they were last night. And again, if you're just joining us, this has calmed down a lot since earlier, where tear gas was being thrown. It looked like fireworks were going off. Protesters were vandalizing local businesses, cars, and one man was actually shot and killed by another civilian there. We don't know why, but we are going to get you guys the latest details as it comes down. Again, you guys are watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream. If you want to keep seeing this live video in your feed, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel or the like button on our Facebook page. That way you can see this live video in your feed as it comes down.
Let's get ready to move to the left a little bit. We'll have a crowd coming up behind us.
This black man with a bald head, we have no closing description. 3501. It sounds like you said Peninsula larceny. Oh.
Again, police told people, anyone that stays out there right now, like all these people that you see standing around, will be arrested if they stay in the area. Police have warned these protesters that if they stay in the area, they will be arrested. And right now, it doesn't even really look like they're protesting. It looks like they're just taking videos with their phones. But earlier, they were throwing rocks at police. They were
complaints from 3410 and 3415 also. I'm not sure where exactly it is in that area.
Okay. So if you sign me off, please show me 42. Demo.
2nd, you didn't get out.
One was trying to break the window of a car, trying to smash it in, and another protester was actually shot by another civilian there on the street. So we're still calling this a protest right now. The police are lined up against these people standing outside here right now in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. And this all started yesterday after a man was shot and killed by police. The protesters started yesterday evening. They were much more peaceful than the ones that we've seen tonight. And this has been going on now for almost 3.5 hours. Again, you're watching this live right now, live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
People with the guns, the language barrier, they're still trying to get further.
Yes, I do.
From this alleged robbery.
Yep.
Over the front door.
It's possibly each. They said they heard about 5 shots, no plain to see, no further.
Again, if there's not going to be a robbery, I'm not even allowed to see the service, but I'm going to try to get a hold of the original complainant just to see what they're saying. 61, 61250, Central Rose. Chillicothe Street, copy.
Good morning, going straight to voicemail, call back. If you can check at 3410 Mathis, one of the notes in the call says the female possibly went inside of the residence at 3410 Mathis.
Section 29 for me, please.
10 more, Dad.
First one's going to be Carly, C-A-R-L-Y, Robar, R-O-B-A-R.
Police are moving forward again. Tear gas and batons.
10 more, go ahead with the next.
Next one's going to be Shayna, S-H-A-I-N-A, Johnson, common spelling, 3497.
10 more.
Next one's going to be Brandon, common spelling, with W-H-I-T-T, 8396.
10 more.
This one's going to be Pedro Caram, C-A-R-A-M, 82894.
10 more.
225, house party, systematic. 103, 293, to Bojangles. 17. Reason further. 1250, we'll go with them.
I also want to let you guys know I just got a push alert that says officials say the person that was shot at the protest is on life support, not dead. So earlier we reported that that person had died. We want to let you guys know an update that the person is actually on life support right now. Again, that person was shot earlier at this protest by another civilian. We're not sure why. He was not shot by a cop, but he was shot by another civilian there at the protest. So it just shows how out of hand these protests can get. And right now, I don't know if that is tear gas that loud popping sound is, or if those are fireworks. But the police there right now are using several different tactics to get these protesters to clear the area out. Again, they have said that any protester that stays in the area will be arrested. You guys are watching this live right now on the Fox News Now stream, where we stream live events from all over the country every day of the week, Monday through Friday. If you would like, hit that like button on our Facebook page or hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That way you can see live videos like this in your feed as they come.
We're going to. It's not showing us a good address on the map. Can you call back to their name for the building or get a better address?
Negative, standby one.
Watch your step.
Yeah,
Watch your step.
Yep.
You got another step?
Yep.
1151 went to voicemail.
Move back, guys.
That's 10-4. Can you treat this through disturbance? There's no crime.
Got it.
Headquarters any Metro units that can clear for ADW into 3 on Tuckasegee Road.
I gotta get out of here.
Headquarters, is there potentially a Toyota involved in that? Because this may be connected to Mathis.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
Voicemail, call back.
We're going to have to point to the left.
2700 Tuckasegee Road.
And if you guys are listening right now, that reporter probably just got some tear gas in his eyes. That's why he's kind of moaning and groaning right now, because all of the reporters that have been out there tonight have been getting the same tear gas in their eyes as the protesters there. So
Different male ran out of house nearby on Mathis.
this has been it started as a peaceful riot, or a peaceful protest, I should say, that has turned into riots tonight in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, after a man was shot and killed by police yesterday, and then a man tonight at this protest was shot by a civilian there, and he is now on life support.
I'll be coming from Presby downtown. This one, I'm typing MI. Wing back.
Use your water, wash out your mouth.
Go ahead. The record for disturbance. Also, we're out with a Mr. Coleman. You know how he's tied into that ADW. 10-4, he's a complaint. 10-4, we're out with that 2700 stuff.
Yeah, 10-4. We got Jenkins there in the gas station parking lot. We just drove through both channels real quick. There's a car backed in, but there's nobody occupied.
Best way to do is go down past that.
Hey, Corey, you want to come up to the landline inside the bedroom?
That's just right on the phone now. If I see this call for a pitch, you're shooting further. It sounds like talking to somebody else in the background. It's going to be a male.
Don't rub your eyes.
Team officer, go ahead.
Suspicious person, Milton at Tipperary. Held by a black male in a black t-shirt with a black hat, turned backwards. Robbed the Plaza Road Express gas station. He's also with two black females going towards Park Creek Apartments.
That's 1251.
Hit one.
All right.
Oh, hey, y'all all right?
All right, man.
Cantina, traffic.
Don't rub your eyes. Oh, yeah.
Negative, man. Sorry. I missed you. Don't bump it.
10-4.
Yeah.
Shit, reminds me of back home, man.
The car doesn't have a tag on it. A person came up and said that the guy just looked suspicious. Probably looking to rob somebody.
10-4.
Black shirt.
Just floated our way.
Black collared shirt.
I think it went started
Hey,
that way. And then
Jenkins, y'all watch that silver car right there. Just pull up the gas pump. There's talk on the phone. It's looking at us.
Oh, that was
Looking
disabling.
around. Silver car. Just watch him.
It's disorienting. Oh. Heather, you need to get a selfie.
no.
Yeah, you do.
To the more, y'all got 22. V3, copy. Some purple shirt. You medic still?
Took my bag. I was gonna give it to
Yeah, I got fire over here. Okay,
my keys. It's got everything in it.
All right.
Here. Corey, you staying or going? All right.
1353 and 161253.
1253.
I'm just keeping this.
It's
that in a chopper at the moment.
Right.
So only 2 shots together.
Sure.
Yeah, check boy. Just when that guy walked by, he was looking at him, and he kind of pulled over towards the pump.
Black backpack. Call overheard subject say on the phone to someone that he was headed back uptown to get in on it. It sounded like he was going uptown to do something bad with bad intent. Over there.
On Food Mart, we didn't see him walking down the road when we drove by.
I'm checking that front score. We don't see anything yet.
84. Didn't see anyone. It flagged down.
What?
And black backpack.
Oh, when I got my earpiece in, I can't hear it.
Right, this number 1 bus stop, and she's in a Bojangles uniform. I'm trying to call her back for you. Red shirt and black pants.
Stand back here.
Hey, Lieutenant. Take what it is 20. Or, you know, we're getting now 25 in the field. 1150 to charge for just shooting. There's further question to calls for service for the robbery or anything. Get the city complaining. Kill. 4 or 5 males that were drinking and getting rowdy.